Hi YouTube. What's up? I apologize. I haven't really made a video in a long time. Mostly because as you can see, I actually still have a respiratory infection and I'm coughing a bit, so hopefully I won't cough too much during this video. I want to make a video that's a bit long. And please excuse me, I am going to be reading off the screen a bit because I actually did put a lot of thought into this video. Most of the videos I make are just, I have a couple thoughts compiled, and I don't really write anything down, so I think I get a little bit more eye contact with the video, or with the camera, but I really, I took a while to write this one out because it's something that, okay, well let me just get into it. So, I titled this video something along the lines of, I just got out of an abusive relationship, what now? Yeah. I got out. What now? So, as some of you may know, my YouTube channel came into a very minor popularity through a video that I made about my experience in an abusive relationship living here in Tokyo. You can watch that video here. And the reason I'm making this video is because 5 years ago, when I was fresh out of that relationship, there was this empty and residual feeling of just, what now? I'm out. What do I do? And it was just clanging through my head constantly. I wish that I had known the things that I know now back then. So this is for those of you who are trying to get out of an abusive relationship, or as people who are freshly out of one. Things that may benefit you to know, or mostly I just want to share my experience because I really wish that when I had just come out of that relationship that someone in my position had shared with me. There's so many things that happened that I didn't know about, so I wanted to share it. I'm just gonna tell you guys my story. I remember it really clearly. It was late February, about 5 years ago. I had the keys to my new apartment in hand, and I opened the door, I looked around. The place was bare. There's nothing there yet. The movers were going to come the next day. I just had to get in there as soon as I possibly could. All I had on me was a small bag with some money and my winter coat that was on my back. I walked into my new bedroom and I loved the smell of tatami mats, straw mats now, because I just got new tatami mats in that room before I had moved in, and I just remember the smell, and I love it because of that night. I lay down on the tatami mats. There's nothing beneath me. I just had my coat over me. The room didn't have any AC or any heater, so I just kind of shivered through the night. Even though I was cold and uncomfortable, there was something just I'll never forget about that night, because it was melancholy, but it was sweet. And it was basically, as I curled up under my coat, I thought, I'm safe. I'm finally in a safe place, and he can't hurt me anymore. So I thought that before I drifted off to sleep, and that was probably the best night's sleep I had had in 5 or 6 months. The next day, the furnishings came in, and my new roommate. I didn't really know her that well before I moved in. She was a friend of a friend, and I really needed a roommate, and she needed a roommate, so there was a mutual interest there. The timing had just been really good for that, and I am beyond thankful for her presence. She's now one of my best friends, and we became really good friends when we lived together, but what I really want to talk about is the feelings that I went through and the feelings that you may go through. You may not, but you might. I just want to address these things. The first one, I think, is a huge feeling of relief. It's the most amazing relief you may have ever felt. You're going to sleep a little bit easier knowing that you're not going to wake up with someone just peering down at you with a clenched fist. You know, I'm not going to go into this much because it's what I think is one of the most obvious feelings, but after the relief came loneliness. I know anyone who has not been in an abusive relationship, I don't think will really understand this. People have been called stupid for these feelings, and I don't think it's stupid at all. If you haven't had this experience, you have no idea how it feels. You know, you can sympathize, but you can't empathize at all. Which is why, once again, I'm making this video. Loneliness. Even though he did hurt me, Ken had been a part of my life. He had been part of me for a long time. At that time, I was 23. I was just turning 24. Mentally, I was a lot younger then. I had a lot less life experience as an adult. And I felt like I was missing a leg. And it's like the leg was infected and it was festering. And you have no choice but to cut it off or it'll kill you. But when you amputate that leg, the physical pain is gone, but you've got that ghost of a feeling, the loneliness. You feel like you should have that leg there. You feel like someone should be there, but you just cut them out because they were that festering infection that was going to kill you eventually. So, you know, logically, it's a good thing that they're gone, but emotionally, you may feel that you're quite lonely after that. The want for companionship for me came almost immediately. The want, and the stupid things it made me do. When you are fresh out of a relationship like this, you might feel like you really want a new companion, to just kind of cover up a loneliness. And of course that seemed like a good idea at the time, but it was a terrible idea. It just didn't work. Once again, this is just my experience, but I think people need to recognize something very vital. And what I am about to say is going to sound a bit off, but I'm going to say it because I think it happens, not 100% of the time. But it happens. This is a time that you need to rely on only your closest and best friends and your closest and best family members. Society views someone coming out of an abusive relationship like this as delicate. And that's the nicest way I can put that. People who don't know you that well, but know of your past relationship, may be hesitant to approach you. This is what I experienced. I don't think it's because they don't like you, or that they're scared of you, but it's just that they have no idea of how to help you. They want to help you, but maybe they don't know how to do so because they just don't know you very well. And that's why your closest friends are your best resource, because they know, like, they may not know exactly how you feel, but they know your personality. They know how you react to things. So that's why I think you need to stick with your closest people. I think that also goes for potential partners. In my case, after breaking up with Ken, I immediately pursued a guy, and I may get a lot of people saying, like, oh my gosh, why did you pursue a partner freshly out of an abusive relationship? I'll tell you why. Because in an abusive relationship, or at least in my case, the romance had been gone for so long. The companionship was there, but there were no romantic feelings. I couldn't have a romantic feeling for a man who threw me against the wall, headlocked me, tried to choke me, and kill me. Yeah. So the romantic feelings had died a long time ago. So it wasn't like I was real. I did not, and I still don't feel like I was hopping from partner to partner there. But after breaking up out of that relationship, I did kind of take some advances on a guy I knew. He ignored the advances. I think one of the reasons is because he kind of knew I was a hot mess at that time. I was very emotionally unstable, and that could have been a volatile situation. So, actually, I am really glad that he ignored me. We're actually still friends now, and I'm glad that never got awkward. So, please, 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 please rely on your closest friends. They are there for you. They want to help you. So please don't feel like you're alone. Talk to your friends. And I want to look at the next subject. So after that stage, I got to a point where I felt worthless. I felt worthless, and I felt terrible. In my mind, I was just this big pile of damaged goods, just damaged. And to me, no one could possibly want damaged goods when they could easily get newer and more bubbly ones, akarui hito. And I honestly thought this about myself. I looked in the mirror, and even though by that time most of my bruises had healed, all I could see were ghosts of those bruises where they had been. The marks that were left on my body, although they had healed for the most part, like I said, you still feel them. It doesn't go away. You feel them. And it's just like a broken record. Even though they're really not there, your mind just keeps playing back like a broken record, just visually. And it's just like, here it's purple again, and it's red again, and it's black again. And I've got bruises all over my, I don't have any bruises on my arms, but sometimes I feel like they all just come back everywhere. Just everywhere. And it's so hard to fight that. It's just because your mind will just run away with it. But it's really hard in the beginning, but as time goes on, it becomes easier. I promise you this. Try your best to fight those visions. Try not to see them. If you were looking at yourself in the mirror, after you take a shower or something, and you feel like you've got this huge mark all over you, even though it's not there, sometimes it's best to look away. Don't look in the mirror too much. It was hard for me. It may be hard for you as well, but fight it off as best you can. And of course, depending on your personality, it may be easy or difficult. For me, it was about medium difficulty. And you will feel like you're damaged. You're like this damaged person, and you're broken. But I can tell you right now, that's not the case. You are still whole. You survived everything that you went through, and you're still here. You're watching my video. Hey, this is a good thing. To kind of go into this, I'm 5 years out of that relationship, and I'm the strongest I've ever been in my life. Emotionally, mentally, physically, just everything. Everything is great. I don't view myself as damaged. I view myself as awesome. So, you are awesome too, okay? But then there's the next thing. When you feel damaged like this, it might make you feel numb. And depending on the power that your mind may have over your body, sometimes that will manifest itself physically. And this happened to me. I felt that I was broken, and my mind just was making this come true. I felt like my body was responding to the fact that I thought I was damaged, and my body was just sort of like reacting to it. My fingertips, the edges of my ears, lips and stuff, I lost feeling there for a while. And I know that sounds really bizarre, and I think it was a mental thing, but like my fingertips and stuff, I could hardly feel anything anymore. And it's not because I had built up a callus from playing guitars or anything. No, it just, like, when you touch things, it's just, you don't get the same signals in your brain as you used to. And I think it's sort of a way that your body might be coping to minimize damage in places that you may have, lots of nerve endings or something. If this happens to you, once again, it's not permanent. It's not permanent. But don't be reckless. This is something that I can't stress enough. Do not be reckless about this. When I was living in that apartment, I cooked dinner a lot. And I really loved cooking at that time. I'm not a big fan of cooking now. But I had a roommate, so I liked to cook. And, I'd be chopping onions or something, and I would get minor cuts and stuff, but, like, all over my hands and my fingers, and I wouldn't even notice it, because I didn't feel it. And, I'd come away, and I'm like, oh, shit, my hands are bleeding, and I just bled all over this vegetable that I was trying to chop. Let's start from, let's go back to the drawing board. So if you have a physical manifestation of this, please be careful. Don't be reckless about it. But I did overcome it. The way that I overcame it was to kind of force myself to try to just feel stuff again. Like, it was mostly in my hands. So I would touch different textures. Like, I had like bumpy wallpaper, so I would often run my fingertips over the wallpaper, and playing video games really helped me a lot, because it helped me kind of gain my dexterity back. So it was something that I could use with my hands to really get my feeling back. I did recover the majority of the feeling in my hands in a year. It took a year to do it, but I did it. And I would say by 2 years I was completely recovered. So do keep that in mind. You may find a physical manifestation of what you're feeling if your body is like that. And don't be afraid of it. Just know that this is an obstacle, and this is something that you have to work to get over. And get over is really harsh. Work to improve and work to heal, and you will heal. It, I'm living proof of this. The next thing is, I touched on this earlier, but with your close friends, tell your friends how you feel. Don't shut yourself off. The worst thing you could possibly do is shut yourself off, because once you get into a dark place, it just gets worse and worse and worse at exponential speed. So talk to your friends at least once a week, I think would be good. Let them, and the thing is, when you're talking to them, once again, like I mentioned before, they may feel a little bit, if they haven't gone through this kind of experience, they may feel uncomfortable. Let them know that they are just lending an ear, and that, hey friend, I just would like you to listen to me. You don't have to feel like you have to give me any advice. Don't feel like you have to say anything back. I just really need to talk to you, and I just want you to listen. Just talking, I think, helps. I think it helps you get your regular feelings back in order. And I will tell you guys a secret. That is the reason I started this YouTube channel. back when I made that Final Fantasy, Dissidia potion taste test, it was really just because I wanted to talk. I didn't care really to whom I was talking to, and I would get comments back in my videos, and it just, I don't know, it made me feel a little bit more normal. And even if it was just, talking to a webcam, because my roommate and I had like opposite schedules, so sometimes I didn't get to talk to her during the day. So if I didn't get to talk to her, it was nice for me to make a video and just get, and I think it really depends on your personality, but for me, I have no problem communicating with people over the net. I don't think it's weird. I don't think it's awkward or anything. So for me, it was a really great way to just vent, even though I didn't talk about that really at all. I was like, it's Final Fantasy, blah. It's just a way to talk about. It helped me get my mind off of things sometimes. Excuse me, see, I am coughing. The next thing you may feel is extreme anxiety and apprehension. There's going to be a period of time where you're not going to want anybody in your personal space, because if someone has physically harmed you, of course, if somebody comes near to you, you're going to naturally put up a defense. This is normal, I think. If you experience this, don't freak out, because, I experienced it too. I don't do that anymore. You may hate to be touched. I'm still kind of like this. Sometimes if, like, people try to hug me, I, push, pull away, or just really, unless I know the person really, really, really well, I sometimes feel really awkward with physical contact. And I wasn't really like that before, but now I am, and it's just something that's actually, with 5 years, I haven't really worked through yet. I'm still working on it. So, that may happen. But don't whatever you do, don't freak out. Don't think that you're beyond help because of this. Because you're not. You are a wonderful person. I am sure of this. It's just, I think it's a natural reaction. And, if someone wants to hug you, I think it's because, like, they like you and they think you're a beautiful person, so even if it may feel uncomfortable, you don't have to come in physical contact with somebody, but do appreciate the sentiment. Try to. Okay? So just try. Don't push people away. Try your best not to shut yourself off, even physically. And then talking about partners, I guess, afterwards. For me, it took about a year to really find someone that I wanted to be with. For me, it took a year, but I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't ready for it at all. I was still in that really apprehensive state, and I believe that was the reason that relationship did not work. The man that I dated then was very sweet and kind and wonderful. He still is a great guy. And it's kind of funny. He told me several months after I met him that he actually apparently had a crush on me, but then he found out that I was engaged to Ken, and he kind of gave up. But, when I asked him out on a date, he was really surprised, and I told him everything that happened, and blah, 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 blah. But remember what I said about damaged goods? You're not damaged goods. Yeah, you're not. I found somebody who really wanted to be with me. But unfortunately, and I think it is just it was really me. The relationship didn't last. I wasn't ready for it at all. It was really kind of my thing. I wasn't ready for that kind of commitment yet. It had only been a year since then, and I thought I was ready for it. I really thought I was ready for it at the time, but looking back, I know I absolutely was not. I still just needed some time for myself. But have I mentioned how important it is to keep your body physically healthy during this? You know, the after effects may last for years. It's almost been 5 years for me, and the after effects are extremely faint now. They're almost gone, but they're still there. And therefore, it's really important to remember you need to keep your strength up. You know, you may need to continue working full-time at a job, or you need to, you know, maybe you have children to take care of, or you have someone who's depending on you, or family. I'm gonna be honest, I forgot to do this, and I'm 175 centimeters tall. I dropped down to about 45 kilograms, which is extremely unhealthy, and I felt sick all the time just because I wasn't eating. So, this will not help your mood. Please, please, please take care of yourself. Eat. Eat. That's the biggest thing. Eat. Make sure you're keeping yourself healthy. Make sure that you're getting enough, you know, vitamins, getting enough sleep, and getting enough physical activity. Even if it's just taking a walk outside in the sunlight, I highly recommend it. It really is the difference between night and day. Walking out in the sunlight, but it really is a night and day difference. My kind of therapeutic thing was going out at like 5 a.m. and riding my bicycle and watching the sun rise. So that's something that I really enjoyed. Now it's actually pole dance. And it's funny, the reason I actually started doing pole dance is because I thought it was cool, and I thought it was fun to do kind of acrobatic stuff, but I saw it as a huge strength training exercise, and I'm physically stronger than I've ever been in my life, and for me, and I know this sounds really weird, but my partner, Ken, he was actually smaller than me, and if I had fought back when he was hurting me, I probably could have taken him in a fight. But I just didn't, and I go into that in my video before, but I would probably say if I were to meet him on the street now or something, he would have a hard time hurting me. An extremely hard time. And you may feel this urge to, you know, start becoming physically a lot stronger than you were before. I think that's normal. I think it's completely normal. Time will go by and it'll make you strong, extremely strong. Once again, you may be working out because honestly it feels like a nice shield. Emotionally, you may get a little bit, well, I'll say I turned into quite the surly girl. I used to be a lot shyer than I am now before all this happened, but after all of this happened, I'm more willing to get into an argument, and well, I'm basically just not willing to let people, you know, walk all over me. If somebody comes and, you know, tries to, you know, threaten me or, you know, walk all over me, and just push them off and be like, "Fuck you, buddy." I know it sounds weird, but I think that's actually a positive thing that's happened to me because of this. And there's another thing that happened kind of together with this, the being very surly girl, was I actually started becoming really protective of my friends, specifically my female friends. And it was, and I don't know if, I don't really know what my friends think about this, because I never really asked them and nobody's really told me about it, but I'm just going to tell you it might happen. If there is a guy who comes into my circle of friends and I don't know him well, and my friend doesn't know him well, I get extremely protective. I was recently called an angry mama bird when I was glowering at this guy. I was like, who I did not approve of when he was flirting with my friend. So you may become extremely protective of people who are close to you, because I think our reasons are good. You don't want them to experience the same hurt that you did, but you also need to remember that you have to respect your friend's autonomy. Be protective, but don't be overbearing. I haven't even mastered that yet. I tend to be a bit overbearing sometimes with my friends, and I sometimes wonder if I scare off potential partners for them. So anyone I've done that to, I apologize. This is why I do it. Okay, going to the next subject. Between the years 2009 and 2010, I went back to the US for roughly a year. When I was there, I took advantage of some really, really, really great resources. One of them was a support group for victims of domestic violence. It was free, very easy to access. I think it was just a government-run, community thing. It really helped me because I got the chance to see other people, just regular people like me, and see that they were all normal and wonderful human beings, and we deserve to be loved, we deserve to be, supported. We hung out, we talked, we did activities together sometimes, and it was really nice. So if you have such a resource close to you, I recommend taking advantage of it, even if it's just for, a couple weeks or a couple months. For me, I only went for like 3 or 4 months, but it was really helpful for me. Here I am 5 years later, and I'll be honest, things are really good for me. I love my life, I love my family, I love my friends. I love my situation right now. What I went through changed me into a much harder and much crasser person. But I don't regret what I have become. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. That's it, and that's all there is. The essence of being. I once read the phrase, "The best revenge is to live a good life." You may feel a lot of feelings of resentment, hate of the person that did these things to you. Do not let that consume you. Think about it and get it out of your system. The sooner that you can get this person out of your mind for the most part, or just compartmentalize them in an appropriate way, the better off you will be. The best advice that I have ever received about this situation is, you may be a victim of domestic violence, but do not let that victim status define you. You may have been a victim in the past, but you are not a victim now. Do not define yourself as a victim. I think it's permissible to feel sorry for yourself, but I think there's a limit for that. Something shitty happened in your life, and we just have to take that as what it is. Do what you can possibly do within the bounds of the law where you are, and move on as best you can. So, I'm just going to get down to the bare message. What you have just gone through hurts. It hurts so much. It was the most hurtful thing that I have ever gone through in my entire life. So I do know from personal experience, no one should ever have to experience what you and I did experience. But it happened. However, you are here. Once again, you are watching this video, you are alive, and you have survived. So that has proven a couple things. You are powerful, You are strong. You have the power to make things go right for you again. You have the power to love yourself and surround yourself with people who love you as well. Don't ever doubt who you are, because you are you and you are beautiful and you are worth it. No matter what happened or what will happen or what anybody says. It is my sincere hope that this video will help at least one person. Thank you.